Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to EMAC's Chamber Chat. Meet our members. Our podcast at our podcast studio is Shared Universe in their Red Bank studio. I was a little freaky today because I came in and there was a green screen and I had no idea what might be behind us. So really cool is that they have this really great A Shared Universe logo behind Jane's head. So we really like that. It is Friday, April 22nd.
Yeah, hard to believe, right?
Hard to believe. I thought the green might have been in representation of New Jersey's legalization of selling cannabis yesterday, but I wasn't sure where we were going with that. So today we have our co-host Jane Tresnan and our guest Leo Wong from Grant Vest Financial Group, and Jane from Tresnan Properties. I forgot to say that you've reiterated yourself a couple of different times.
I have. I was representing CubeSmart in Red Bank and sold it recently. So now I am still kind of rebranding myself, Tresnan Properties, in the self-storage business. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I love the Jane's in self-storage. It's like, you don't know many women in self-storage, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We like that. And we have Chris Matt on the boards with us today. So we're happy to have Chris with us. Couple of business items as we want to always thank our corporate sponsors. We have Nissan City of Red Bank, transparent pricing, efficient processes, and the respect you deserve. They are family owned and operated, and they're located at 120 Newman Springs Road in Red Bank. We are happy to have them, and we greatly appreciate their support. And PDR, Packaging Distribution Resources, that provide leading business solutions in warehouse distribution, and they are located in Island, and they have been our corporate sponsor for 2 years. And we are greatly appreciative to all of the support that they have offered us. So things are going on at the chamber.
Lots of things.
We had an incredible Women in Business event with about 20, I want to say there was 25 or 26 women. It was hosted by Woodward Realty. It was sponsored and by Smart Title Insurance with Shannon Fasone. And I didn't shout out Marie Noglos and Elaine Chembray hosted at Woodward Realty Rumson. Shannon Fasone from Smart Title was our premier sponsor.
Right.
And then we had Judy Crook.
Wonderful presentation.
And supporting sponsors. So it was a great event. We had a lot of new faces, which we're loving seeing a lot of new faces. Then on Wednesday, that was on a Monday night, and Wednesday morning, we had a huge, successful business networking breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't able to be with us, were you? Or were you there?
No,
you were there because that's right. I found out information about you. It was Leo is on the he's the secretary for the Business Networking Breakfast Committee as well, and we've been really struggling. How do we get people to come? How do we get people to come? We had 27 people with us Wednesday morning. It was fun. We did networking activities, moved everybody around the room.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was to meet new people, new businesses, and it was a lot of fun. I think everybody had a great time.
It was very fun. And then Leo is Grant Vest is a sponsor for all of our business networking breakfasts for the rest of the year.
Yep.
He's our supporting sponsor. And then we had last month we had Cowley's Pest Services was our premier and supporting sponsor. So and we always greatly appreciate Almost Home General for the yummy food. We actually I could not bring Sandy her parfait Wednesday morning because we actually had enough people that ate the yogurt parfaits this time.
I love the parfait there.
So I said to them, beware, I may have to up the number of parfaits for the 13th. So we had that, and then next Thursday, the 27th, this coming Thursday, right?
Yes.
We're at Chilango's for Cinco de Mayo pregame for our business after hours. So we're really looking forward to that. We have a first drink sponsor. It's Tom Duffy from Jersey Shore Financial Advisors. And he's going to be buying the first round of drinks for everybody. Maybe limited. It may not be open bar top shelf, people. So just, pay attention to the rules when you get in. But, it may be limited because of the margaritas and all that. It may be limited to the first few people who register and attend. So I would say if you're not registered yet and you want to join us at Chilango's, it is limited space because I don't know if you guys have been to Chilango's, but it can't hold a whole lot of people. And we'd prefer to fill it with our fill it with our friends.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, for
it's from
sure.
5 to 7 on Thursday, the 27th. You can register at emac.org events. And let's see, then we have May coming up.
Oh, May is
May.
Small Business Month. And
It is. Well, it's really May
Yeah.
1 through 7 is Small Business Week. But
That's right.
EMAC decided, why just 1 week? Let's celebrate all month long. So we're actually doing a little mini membership drive.
That's right.
Nice.
Mhm.
We have reached out to our existing small business members and asked them if they would like to put in any special offers
Mhm.
to the new members who join in the month of May. So we have about 7 different members who have made offers. Everyone's going to get a swag bag. It's going to be really cool. So it's not as big as what we did last October, but we're really hoping people will join us. We've had a lot of fun putting it together. We've been really excited to support our existing small businesses. One of the questions I found was the most interesting is many of our members said, well, how much does it cost for us to do this? Like, it doesn't cost you anything except what you're offering because we're not making money. We want you to meet the new members and everybody
Exactly.
have the opportunity to grow their business. So
Right.
we were pretty excited about that reaction. Everybody's like, oh, really? We don't have to pay for this? No, let us help you. So that's what we've been doing. So we have on the 11th of March. Is that a Wednesday? Is it March 11th? I'm May. May. What the heck? Where am I, Leo?
You're going back in time.
Yeah. So I think it is May 11th
Uh-huh.
is our breakfast.
Mhm.
It's we're also celebrating Mental Health Month. So we have Kara Graham coming to speak with us about recognizing mental health, what mental health issues might be coming up in your workplace or depression and how to kind of work around that.
Mhm.
So she'll be speaking to us about that. It's sponsored by Chris Parmigiani from CMIT Solutions and Grant Vest.
Mhm.
And so we're looking forward to that. Then on the 12th, we have ENG, EMAC's Next
That's
Generation.
exciting, too.
They're at Proving Ground. Share a splash of Small Business Month or something like that. I kind of get into these really goofy little creation titles for our things. So,
Yeah.
so
Love
anyway,
it, love it.
we're going to be a Proving Ground for that. And our first, we do have a first drink sponsor. You know who we have? A brand new member.
Ooh.
That's
Brand
awesome.
new.
Stepping up.
They wanted to sponsor and didn't know they had to be a member to sponsor. So
Oh,
because
there
they
you
wanted
go.
to sponsor and saw EMAC as such an awesome opportunity to market, they joined the chamber too.
Very nice.
So we welcome Guaranteed Rate, and we're pleased that they're going to be sponsoring First Drink on for ENG on the 12th.
Nice.
And then on Tuesday, May 24th, always go with the day of the week. Don't go with the date with me because
Yeah.
that's off the top of my head, those numbers get confused. But we are going to be at Courtyard by Marriott on Half Mile Road. And we are going to have our business after hours, which is Shake. It's really cute.
you're
It's
on
like
such a
Shake.
roll.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like Shake Up Small Business Month, I think, or something like that. So,
Okay.
So shake hands and
Yeah.
shake it
Right,
up,
right,
and
yeah.
then a splash is like
Yeah.
the drink and the ice, So like there's like creativity that goes into this, people. It's not just that easy, So that's from 5 to 7. And we have first drink sponsor is Tim Davis from Advisors Mortgage.
Okay.
And so we have, if you have listened to the last number of times I said, we should have counted how many times I said sponsor.
Yeah.
Because-
it's great.
Right?
It's
Because
wonderful.
all these sponsorships are great ways for people to help market. We mentioned it on the podcast. We do the shout outs on the social media, on the e-blast. So sponsoring an event gives you an opportunity to help get additional marketing, be part of this chamber, have people recognize you, name recognition. So there are premier and supporting sponsor opportunities for the ENG and the business after hours for the month of May.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're going to get to the king of sponsorships momentarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do want to mention one more opportunity.
Okay.
And did you know you could sponsor podcasts?
No.
No, I did not.
No,
You
I
did not. So you
Okay.
can, this is cool.
Yeah.
You can sponsor podcasts. We do 2 a month. So you sponsor the month. You get to co-host if you choose, which is additional benefits for your business.
Right.
And then you select exactly who your market that you want to target. And so a part of the sponsorship money goes to paying to hit those direct
Great.
people that you're looking for in the social media and digital media marketing that we do specifically for the podcast. So those are all available. So we, and we are actually booking through July now for podcasts. So, we start promoting as soon as we can. So if anybody's interested in that.
Okay.
So all sponsorships or anything like that, you can reach out to the office, 732-741-0055. And speaking of the office, very excited to say.
Very excited.
Very excited to say we are not going to be homeless. Our building is being sold. The sublease that we had is over as of the end of this month. So so we thought we were going to be homeless, but we're not. So we're staying where we are partially and taking the month of May to move, and we'll be moving to Apple Street in Tinton Falls.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
more
Leo, I'm
space.
sorry you can't walk over to
I
the office
know.
anymore.
I might have to jog now.
Yeah.
You might.
Yeah.
We'll miss the muffins that you bring the office, though. We do, yeah.
That'll still happen though. Don't
Okay.
worry.
All right. So, but we're pretty excited. It's a bigger space for us,
Right.
more parking for us. So it's all good. We're growing. We're excited, and
Lots going on.
yeah. And do you know that at the last podcast of the month we announced who's joined us since the last
Mhm.
podcast of the last month?
No, do tell.
Do tell.
Yeah.
We do that. So we would like to welcome M&T Bank, Minuteman Press of Red Bank, Office of Legislative District State Assembly for I think it's the 13th District, Eileen Higgins, Permanently Pretty and Guaranteed Rate.
Awesome.
All right.
They have
Welcome,
all joined
welcome.
us since the end of March. God, my months are so off.
It's okay.
It's been busy. It's a good thing.
It is.
good
It's a
thing.
very good
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
it's a very good. I got to tell you guys a funny story. I know we're going to get, I swear we will.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll get to
But-
Leo shortly.
Okay, so our
All right, let's
office
hear your
is
story, Jen.
our office is not really big. I mean, it's big, but it's not huge, right?
Mhm.
And so we, once I got the approval to move, I don't like to sit around and wait. I like to make things happen.
Mm.
So we decided yesterday there was twice a week. There's 4 of us in the office for 10 hours total for the whole week, right?
Mhm.
So it's not often that there's 4 of us in the office. So yesterday, Sandy and Maria are like, okay, what are we doing? I go, let's start purging. Sandy had brought in contractor bags. So we start purging. We have 4 or 5 huge contractor bags. And instead of taking them straight out, we figured we'd run them all out at the same time. So we had them lined up along the little hallway,
Mhm.
right? We had stuff all over the conference table because we were sorting and organizing, deciding what to keep, what to toss. I'm in my office, Jill's in her office, and the phone rings and somebody's like, oh, we just knocked at the door. We want to come in and join the chamber.
Oh.
We're like, oh, okay, but pardon the mess. Like,
Right,
they were trying to
exactly.
throw everything off the tables and figure out what we're doing. And they're walking by the big garbage cans in the hallway and everything like this, the garbage bags. And it's insane. It's absolute insanity. So they come in, they sit down, they're filling out their application. Sandy's talking to Lee. Maria's talking to her husband. And, we're going on. And so they're all chatting and the phone's ringing. And Jill's answering the phone and the phone rings again. So I'm answering the phone. And then in the meantime, the door knocks again.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
And it's our old landlord, new landlord, the person that we're just going to rent for 1 month.
Mhm.
And he comes in, he's so nice, but he has 2 people with him.
Oh,
So like all of a sudden, if this is an hour and a half of absolute
chaos.
happy insanity.
Yeah.
But during that, we had somebody else join the chamber while
Oh, my
those people were
goodness.
sitting there joining the chamber.
Yeah.
Wow.
While we're packing to move to our bigger place. So the energy was incredible.
I
It
can
was really
imagine. Yeah.
exciting and fun. And so that's kind of what goes on in the life of the chamber.
Yeah, it's so fun, but so exciting after this whole year of, COVID and Zooms and not being able to see each other in person. And this is it's very exciting to have all these events planned. And I feel like things are just opening up.
Yeah.
So,
It's
good.
very exciting.
yeah.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So Leo,
Hi. I'm
hi.
still here.
I know you're still here. I've been looking at your smiling face the whole time. I know you're still here. Welcome to Chamber Chat.
Thank you. This is my first time doing a podcast, so I'm really excited. Love the energy so far, and I got my cup of coffee, so I'm all set to go.
I love we're representing. I should have had a Dunkin', but
I
like,
know. I
like
kind
the-
of turned
the-
it. I
the
wasn't sure.
trifecta?
we had the Starbucks, the 7-Eleven, and I'm drinking Poland Springs.
There
Sorry.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah. So and yeah, you live close by, so you got to walk on over to the studio here in Red Bank.
Yeah, that one block really knocks the wind out of you
Yeah.
there.
Does it?
You know,
Does it?
It's yeah, and especially with the 60-degree weather this morning, it's like,
It's
whoa,
just
Yeah.
it's
gorgeous.
tough.
It was
It's
a
rough.
It was a struggle, wasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
no, fresh air and all.
And then my
much.
smiling face, we're getting to. So, So tell us, Leo, first tell us a little bit about GrandFest.
Okay, sure.
Just a little.
Okay, let's start off a little bit. So, GrandFest is a full-service financial advisory firm, and we are based in Mattawa, New Jersey. And I've been with them for a better part of going on 8 years now. And it is an independent financial advisory team. In other words, we're not associated with like the big banks or publicly traded that you know of. So we're an independent firm. And there's four financial advisors in our office. We have 3 administrative staff, and we're a growing practice. But a lot of people ask me, well, I know what a financial advisor is, but like, what do you do though? Like, in simple terms, I help people invest their money and make sure when they retire, they don't run out of money. That's it. Very
That's-
straightforward.
That's great.
Yeah.
It sounds
Sounds like
so
a
easy,
plan.
yet not running out of money when you retire is not
Right.
always as easy as you think. So
Mhm.
you
Right.
need somebody really who's paying attention for you and protecting you.
Absolutely. But not only that, when I think of financial planning, I tell people it's like when you put together a jigsaw puzzle. You ever buy those gift puzzles like 500 or 1,000 pieces,
Mhm.
right? A lot of times, when people, go through their financial planning, they know, the pieces. They know kind of like, here's a corner piece, here's a side piece. Oh, this belongs in the middle, but they can never see the full picture because they just don't know how to piece it together themselves.
You're the lid. You're the lid that has the picture on it.
Yeah, right.
So I tell people, look, it's with financial planning, it's all about having us come in and help you put the other pieces together, so this way you see the full picture.
Yeah.
Right. But a lot of times it's a co-effort where they give feedback to let us know what they want. We can then go out there, look at the financial landscape, put together what they need, and then put it together, and then you have your picture.
Great.
Yeah.
That's a good way to explain it. I like that.
Yeah. I thought of that this morning when I was in the shower.
That's a good one.
It's your best moments are in the shower.
Right. If
Obviously.
you're not singing like Jen.
No,
No, I don't
think
sing in the
Jen-
shower. No, I don't sing in the shower because my children have the most beautiful voices and they sing in the shower, so I don't dare
Oh,
sing in the shower. So, but I do have a lot lot of productivity in the
Yeah.
shower.
Right?
You know,
It's
you can always
amazing.
tell on the days I don't shower. It's like dead in the office, man, and it smells. No. So you decided to join the chamber. Why did you decide to join the chamber? And you took it like
Oh wow!
I want to
Leo
talk
jumped
about
in.
Leo.
Yeah.
Leo jumped in like not even both feet. Leo just totally took a complete dive
Wonderful.
in. And
Yeah.
so tell us about your reasoning, what you did, and your reasoning behind that.
So I actually have to give credit to an old chapter member way back, and he actually played basketball with your husband Ray way back.
Oh, who was it?
Name's Bill Finley,
Okay, heard of
And-
Bill Finley.
and he's going to be retiring this year actually. But Bill actually referred me to the chamber, and the reason being is I told Bill that I just moved to Red Bank. I want to start building some roots, right, and contributing towards the community, and this has been something I've thought of doing, but just never at a point in my career or stage in my career that I've been able to, I guess, contribute like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, you know what, this would be perfect new beginnings, and I sorted you guys out. It just
When did you move to Red Bank? Leo? Like,
I
really recent?
moved in September.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, very
Very
recent,
recent.
of
Mhm.
last year. And
Yeah, and you joined in October,
Yeah,
right?
in October.
Okay, yeah. So that was you
Yeah.
moved fast, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, once I make a determination on what my direction is, I just move towards it.
Mhm.
It's and that relates with financial planning a lot. It's like, you know what you need, you know what you want to do, but a lot of times we're just scared to get to that place.
Mhm.
So that's why I knew what I want to do. I just moved forward, and of course, as you said, I dove right head first. I didn't care if there was water in the pool or not. I just knew I just wanted.
You did. You just
I was like, oh, I'm just gonna get in there and I'll figure it out. That's fine.
Leo said, I want to join a committee. And we're like, well, we could really use help on the business networking committee. And he
Yeah.
goes, this breakfast committee. And he's like, okay, that sounds great. And so we send him the agenda ahead of
Right.
time. And on it says, we're looking for a secretary for so he cocomes in and he says to me, first meeting, hasn't met anybody, comes in and he says to me, so I hear you're looking for a secretary. What do I need to do to apply for that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
here's a pen. And he
Right.
goes, well, do I have to take the pen or can I do it on my computer? I'm like, oh no, however you want, but here, it's yours. Job is yours, babe. Have at it. And you took it a step.
Once you're in, it's like, oh boy.
Well,
okay.
so Leo has done something
Yeah.
that no one else has done.
Yeah. Right.
With the chamber. And he's taken, within a conversation, may have been even that first meeting too, may have been our second one that you were with us.
I think it was second.
Mhm.
But we were talking about the importance of sponsorships.
Yeah.
And Leo said, okay, so how do you do this? And we're like, you just put it out there. And he's like, okay, are there rules? And I go, they have to be members. And he's like, okay. Leo managed to secure
Mhm.
a sponsor, a premier and supporting sponsor for each event we had for the entire year, and then came through himself as an additional supporting sponsor.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing, because I don't think we've ever
And-
had sponsors lined up like that.
Never.
Covered for
Never.
the year, for sure.
And what's
Yeah.
really awesome is those people are already on the website. So if you go into October at the breakfast date,
Yeah.
you can already see who's sponsoring.
Yeah.
You don't know anything about what breakfast it is, but you already know who the sponsor is. So, they're on there. It's already out there for people to
Yeah.
see, which is
Mhm.
great. And Leo, tell, because I know what you did, but tell Jane how you went about doing that, because like you said, you'd only moved here in September.
Right.
That was like November we're talking. So what'd you do?
That's right. So what I did was I decided to go through the Chambers of Commerce directory because in my head, I was thinking this would be the best way to do one of two things. One is to introduce myself as a new member and get to know people on a much faster pace than just attending events and maybe running into them type of deal. And then the second part was to get sponsors, right? To engage people again, because we're still living in this COVID time. And I thought, you know what? Let's call them. I'm sure a lot of them haven't been coming back out because they've just been at home working. And you know what? This would be a great way for us to bring them back in. And you know what? Why not be a sponsor as well? So I put together a little script and I introduced myself. I told them the reason why I'm calling. I gave them a tidbit of the value they'll get from it. And I asked, would you like to be a sponsor? And I actually got sponsorships that way. I did get a few no's. I got a few maybes. But in life, that's how things work. You just got to ask, and you ask enough times, you'll get enough yeses.
Yeah,
You do.
I love it. I think that's awesome. And at the same time, it's kind of a win-win for you. As you said, you're introducing yourself and your business to these chamber members as well, and giving them that little push maybe that they needed to get more involved. And I think that's awesome.
So if we could have a gold star,
Yeah.
Leo
yeah.
would get the gold star, because we always say that you join a chamber and you go to the events and you meet people, and that's a great way. Sponsorship, even more so. But you took it upon yourself to say, I'm not going to wait to meet them there. I'm going to call and introduce myself. And, one of the things we talked about at the breakfast is, Leo, you may say, well, yeah, but look at his personality. He's ready to pick up the phone and call. There's always still the nervousness.
Of course.
I can ask both the guys in the room too, because I know both of you are engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And you're with this person forever and ever, right? You've been with them. It's decided. It's not usually a surprise to the other person, right? But do you still get nervous when you have to ask, even knowing the answer is going to be yes?
Of course.
Chris is shaking his head yes. Leo's shaking. So even somebody that's got the confidence to pick up the phone and call, there's still that nerve. And you did it, and you introduced yourself. And I mean, can anybody really get mad at you for making a phone call and saying hello?
No.
And it's been
scenario,
great.
I'll just never see them because they won't come.
Right, there you go, right. And but what I would say too is the
point.
people you chose to call were people that we don't always see, and they
Right.
have re-engaged, and it's been such a great situation. So in everything we encourage people to make the most of your membership. You've paid to belong to this association. Make those connections,
Absolutely.
because those people have joined this association for the same reason. Everybody wants to get to know each other, grow their businesses, and do business together. So,
Yeah, it's been great so far. In fact, I was reading an article that was put out. It was an online article about all the new businesses that came into Red Bank as of, I believe, either this month or next month.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking like, oh, great way to introduce myself to them, patron their business as well. And that stuff like that is exciting for me as well. Just being able to know who they are, know their story. And of course, if they have great services or great food, then obviously I would like to partake in that as well.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Partaking in food is one of our
Yeah.
favorite things. So, yeah. So tell us, what's your favorite part about being a financial planner? Like, how'd you get started in it, and then what became your favorite part about it?
Yeah. I guess my favorite part about being a financial advisor is being able to help guide people in having that relief to know that they're able to sustain retirement.
Mm.
So I tell this to a lot of my prospects and some of my clients I speak with, and that is, you've never retired before.
True.
And you only
Yeah.
get to, most people do it once.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a scary...
Unless you play professional football, and then you do it as many times as you want.
Right.
Sorry.
Or multiple
I digress.
careers.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's a scary thing to go through.
Sure.
You've never done it before, right? And of course, because it's scary, it's the unknown. People do normally one or two things. They either just keep working because they don't want to face the fact that one day they're just not going to be of value towards society or whatever the group is. And two, they don't know what to expect. So they kind of, it's dreadful for them almost.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And actually the third one is some people are afraid that they can't afford to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So a lot of times when I sit down with people and I help them understand their concerns, help paint a picture, put the puzzle pieces together for them. Right. And more often than not, you see people kind of light up and they see, wow, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be eating ramen noodles for the rest of my life.
Right.
Right. And being able to guide them through the process, help them design a plan, help them execute that plan, right? And then, of course, continuously have reviews with them throughout the years. It's very gratifying to see how they're happier, they're having more fun, but they're also very thankful for what you have done, for them as well. So that's probably one of the most gratifying parts about it. And the second part to your question was, how does this come about actually? How to become a financial advisor? I think, and I've been asked this question before, and I think I got the answer because it's not something that you just, I guess, have as an answer. You really have to think about it. Mm-hmm. And in thinking through that and having been asked that question before, I think it really started when I was younger because of my parents. We immigrated from Malaysia when I was 6 years old, right? And coming here and being a culture shock, and it was easier for me to adjust, but it was a whole new world for my parents, right?
Sure.
And for them to put family first, and what they did was they opened up Chinese restaurants, very typical, right, of immigrants, and they worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and their focus wasn't on, let me plan for my retirement.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. There's like, let me provide my children and then
Sure.
make a life in this new country. Right.
Yeah, and that's that reminds me of, back, in your ancestors, your grandfathers and
Sure.
great grandfathers and such, when they first came to America type, mm-hmm. right? And that's what they did. And what they did was work hard, make money to support the family, to provide as a household. And you know what? The kids will be the retirement plan. And that's actually indicative of a lot of other cultures mm-hmm. in how it works. America is a complete 180 from that. America is you plan for your own retirement. In other countries, especially in Chinese cultures, your kids are your retirement plan.
Right.
Right.
Because in that culture, doesn't the families usually stay together like multiple generations in the same home? I don't know if that's still true, but mm-hmm. I remember that from
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, you're absolutely correct. And the kids are supposed to be, grown, working, successful, and of course, kind of pay like a social security type payment to their parents for their retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how it works back then. But obviously very different now that we're in America, and seeing how my parents didn't know what retirement planning was, really sparked the interest in me when I was going to college. And the fact that I was really good with numbers really helped.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go get a degree in finance, and that's what I did with from Monmouth University.
Great.
And I'm actually using what I went to school for, so that's another positive.
That's
that is
great.
Yeah.
That's great. I actually say people, you use what you go to school for, regardless if it's your degree, because you learn so much in
sure.
college.
Mhm.
It's life experience. But because I went to school for fashion merchandising, and if we look at me, that is not what I'm doing now.
But I think the creativity
Yeah,
really comes
right.
through.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
so
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah. I do have a little bit of
Yeah.
You have it, just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. So, and you can you think of any questions for Leo? I feel like I'm
Yeah.
firing at him. So go ahead.
So I would think that one of the well, you tell me what the challenges would
Mhm.
be in being a financial advisor. I mean, you've got people from all different
Walks of life.
and
Mhm.
all different financial situations. So,
Right.
Is that challenging to be able to work with such a diverse
Absolutely.
customer?
So yes, you are absolutely correct. I do sit down and talk to a lot of different types of people from all
Mhm.
walks of life, right? You have the people that are high income earners,
Mhm.
right? That have done well for themselves. They're educated. They know to invest. They know to plan for the future type. And then you have the ones that kind of just follow the rules, so to speak, and of being an employee for 30, 40 years type,
Mhm.
and that just contributed into a retirement account, didn't know any better about it, just did it because they were told. All right. And then, of course, on occasion, I run into a few that haven't done well for the retirement planning and didn't start thinking about it until they were in their 50s.
Yeah.
And those are the type that I will sit down and give them the news that, unfortunately, you're going to have to work till you might be 70 years old
Mhm.
in order to have some sort of tangible retirement. But being able to at least sit down and understand your situation, I think, is key. Because a lot of times people, as I said earlier, don't see the puzzle piece in full, and they really need to sit down with someone like myself to be able to, ask the questions and kind of slowly put the pieces together. And of course, if there's an opportunity, we'll step in and help them fill in the rest, right?
Mhm.
But I would say for a lot of people with all walks of life, also comes with a lot of different types of baggage as well.
Mhm.
Right. So I think of people that have children that they still need to support.
That's what I was just thinking of all those things, college educations, all of that, or children who are even out of college and they're still kind of supporting or elderly parents who
Elderly
that's a big
parents,
thing, right?
special needs children.
Special needs,
Mhm.
everything. I'm thinking of all those scenarios
Mhm.
that could that are big factors in there.
Absolutely. So yes, with the different types of baggage that they have,
Mhm.
we have to take that into account
Yeah.
for their financial planning as well.
Yeah.
And in those type of situations, especially with, I think of like adult kids that they need to still help take care of type,
Yeah.
Yeah, kick them to the
or,
curb.
or college planning, right?
Sure.
In fact, yesterday, I was up in Connecticut, VA, not Connecticut, a VA in Connecticut,
Mhm.
Veterans Affairs,
Yeah.
because our organization actually has a niche that we work with two federal unions, and they bring us into federal facilities to help
Oh, I
the
love that.
employees with their
Love-
financial planning.
Yeah.
That's great.
Right. And their version of a 401k is called TSP.
Mhm.
So this person I was speaking with, he's married, he has two kids in college, and he told me something that was startling. He said instead of contributing to his TSP or 401k, he was actually paying for the kids' college instead of saving for retirement.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And I was like, well, when do you plan on retiring? He's like, oh, in about 10 years. I'm like, I'm sorry to tell you, but you haven't saved anything.
Right.
I don't know how you're going to retire.
Yeah.
Because your pension and Social Security is not going to be enough for you
to cover. Sure.
And he's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. And then I sat him down and explained it to him, and I gave him a really good analogy as well. I was like, what are you doing right now is technically suffocating yourself, okay? Because you're putting others ahead of yours, your needs, right? And it's almost like when you hop on an airplane and they go through their spiel, in the beginning before you fly out. One thing they say is if there's low oxygen in the cabin and the mask comes down, make sure you put the mask on yourself first before helping others.
Yeah.
And financial planning is very much the same way.
I love that.
Right?
Love it. Yeah.
How are you going to help others when you're suffocating yourself, right? And to furthermore digress, I told them your children are going to have plenty of years to make up for whatever financial debt that they have bought on, especially for the education. You don't have those years. And when I said that to him, almost a light bulb went off. It's like, I need to talk to you more.
Yeah.
I need to make some changes. I'm like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Right. So I know I went on a tangent there, but
we like tangents. Tangents are fine.
I think it's
important.
great because again, you're like enlightening people, and it's serious because it's about how they're going to, to be able to spend the rest of their lives or afford to not work. And I mean, that's got to be incredible to see those light bulbs go off and feel like, okay, I'm helping make this change in this person.
Absolutely.
And, is this tweaking your little teacher?
Yeah.
Your little inside teacher.
Yes. One of my careers was an English teacher or whatever. So,
okay.
Yeah. And no, it's true.
I know. I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, she's knowing that little teaching light bulb moment right now.
It's a wonderful thing when you see their little eyes light up and say, oh, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Well, I'm going to have to give you a little prop on that because when I first came to America, I actually took ESL for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I remember my teacher being so supportive and making an impact for me there.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And of course, coming full circle, being now that I've got the education that I need, I'm able to in turn also
I love it.
add value as well.
Yeah, no, it's true. They're, and those are qualities that are, those teacher qualities, can be used in any industry or any profession. And
it's gratifying.
Chris is shaking his head too. Yes. Okay. Yeah, good.
It's very gratifying.
Yeah.
But it's if I could kind of segue into something else.
Please
here.
do.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's in preparation, lack of preparation on questions that I didn't send you there, but some of the topics that I think we could talk kind of high level about, and I would love your input on this as well, is understanding, what does financial planning look like, when I sit down with someone, right? What do I do, right? What questions are asked and such. And, that unfortunately with retirement planning, things shift throughout the years. And, and I think of, what worked 10 years ago or 20 years ago is very different today. Okay. And what I mean by that is like, the first thing is a pension. All right. So one of the things about retirement planning is a pension is used in that factor. Unfortunately, pensions are no longer the normal thing anymore.
Right.
Where it was 20, 30 years ago.
Sure.
Right.
All right. People worked for a corporation for 20, 30 plus years, and they were going to get taken care of by the company. Well, guess what? That's not the case.
Right.
In fact, I think the number is pretty staggering. Probably only about 4% of the companies out there right now that provide some sort of sustainable pension.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's assuming that they don't go bankrupt. Okay.
Right.
So that's a big thing right now. So for a lot of people, when they are retiring in this generation moving forward, they're retiring without a pension. So what's the other thing that they have to retire with? Social Security, right? And I hear
Yeah,
a chuckle
right.
there. If it still
If it's
exists,
still there.
right?
Right.
Sure.
So they're saying that, if things don't change, Social Security is officially going to go bankrupt in 2035, I think is a year, right?
Oh, wait, that's the year I'm retiring.
Or-
No, I'm just kidding.
That's an interesting topic to discuss. And in my personal take on that is, it's not going to just disappear. It's just not possible, right?
Mhm.
Just because so many millions of Americans are reliant on Social Security that you can't just say, sorry, we're bankrupt.
Mhm.
Right.
Now, what they'll have to do is most likely make adjustments.
Right.
Or maybe we cut everyone's Social Security paycheck by 25%.
Right.
Mhm.
Or we push the age to later. I don't know if you guys remember this, but full retirement age for Social Security used to be 65.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not anymore.
Now it's 67,
Right.
depending on the year you're born.
Okay.
Okay.
And prior to that, it was even younger,
Right.
right? But as people live longer, as Social Security becomes more and more taxed on,
Mm-hmm.
they push the date later.
Right.
Right. So pushing it later would be another alternative, right? Maybe instead of 67 as your full retirement age, it might be 70 next.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of things they could play with it. And the third thing would be they could increase the cap on Social Security tax. And what I mean by that is capped at, I'm off on this number, but it's about $127,000 in annual income. If you make more than that, you don't pay more Social Security tax.
Mhm.
They only collect it up
Oh.
to
Oh, okay.
127,000 in annual income.
Okay.
Okay. So they might increase that number.
Right.
So there's ways to
If
play.
they do that with income tax, it'd be really cool, but
Yeah,
they
right.
don't, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd rather give more money to Social Security
I
tax
know.
than income tax, but
Yeah.
all right, whatever.
That's not happening.
So that's a hot topic for a lot of people, and I try to bring logic and bring them back to earth and say it's okay. You hear a lot of headline news, but it's just noise, right? But those are things that they could do to tweak and make the system last longer
Mhm.
and not be bankrupt. And then the third part about retirement is their tangible assets, right? And what's the tangible assets? 401ks, IRAs, brokerage accounts, 403bs. There's a lot of acronyms and names for it, but they're all essentially tax deferred retirement accounts. And that is probably the key thing that I try to always educate people about is you have full control over that one component of your retirement, right? But a lot of people don't have that education and that focus.
Right.
And I try to educate them about it. The younger you are and you know that you need to be contributing towards it and have it invested in the stock market for as long as possible will make a world of difference by the time you retire on if you're just getting by with retirement or if you're actually living the life of retirement that you want, right? And that's probably the key component there where you try to educate people about what their max contribution is, what funds they should be invested in. And and the key thing is not how much you invest, actually. The key thing is when you invest, right? Because someone could be invested in their 30s for 10 years and still have the same amount as someone that's starting at age 40 and investing for the next 25 years. All right. So it's a matter of when, allowing it to compound versus how much. So, for the potential younger audience that might be
was
out
my
there.
next question, because I have, young adult children in their, 30s and late 20s. And I keep saying, it's time, even speak to a financial planner, get things in order, and kind of start contributing because, you just, as you said, if Social Security isn't there or pensions aren't there or whatever, they need to start.
And
It's
the
just
cost
hard,
of the cost of living goes up every year. So what you think, oh, well, I have this much in the bank, I could live on that now. Yeah, you could, but if you're going to work another 20 or 30 years, you're not going to be able to live on that in 20 or 30 years. So you've got to not only save, but the money that you're saving has to grow. And we know the money you save doesn't grow at the same rate of inflation.
You got it.
So
And you bring up a very interesting point. And inflation is the key word there, right? We call that the carbon monoxide of financial planning. Okay. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, but it's there.
But it's there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's going to kill you if you stay in there long enough, right? So inflation, I'm almost in a way thankful that it's happening to us now. You hear the headline news.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Inflation clocking at 7% last year and a little bit higher this year and moving forward, right? And that's why the feds are scrambling to increase interest rates to curb inflation. Inflation has been such a hot topic to talk about, and hopefully the younger folks in my generation are paying attention to it, because you get to see it happening in a short period of time, so you can identify with what it is.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because people, you tell them it's inflation, they don't know what it really means,
Right.
right? So we get to see it now in the grocery stores, in housing,
In the gas
and
price.
gas price, right? What hyperinflation can even look like, right? And that is a great way to educate the younger generation on what it can look like. So this way they can plan for it, and knowing that it can really make a dramatic effect on their retirement. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a great point for,
Mhm.
for sure. For the, and the sooner they get started, it's just, I feel like it's a challenge when you're younger. You have other expenses, and it's like, oh, can I really afford to put this into my 401k or whatever? And it's just kind of,
And the
I guess they have to
question's
get
almost
used
like,
to,
can you really not?
can you
afford-
really not exactly
afford to
I
put
think
that
that's
in?
what you
Yeah.
have to change their thinking,
Yeah.
and kind of put it in and forget about it, right? Direct deposit and all that, and just let to where it's automatic, and they don't even know it's coming out of their paycheck.
Absolutely. And you know what, another big difference between the generation that was 20, 30 years ago versus this generation is that they have shifted. Let's see, how can I phrase this? The culture of retirement planning has shifted from that generation to this, where it's all on you now. You have to be the one that plans for your retirement. You can't rely on just the corporation you work with to provide the pension for the rest of your life. As we mentioned earlier, they might not be around anymore.
Right.
So but here's the thing: even though that culture shifted, no one has actually educated them about that shift to tell them that that's not the case anymore. How your parents or grandparents retired is not how you're going to retire.
Right.
It's different.
It's different. Yeah.
So yeah, that's another another big thing about our education system that could really step up and require financial literacy as a examination to pass for like high school.
Well, and there is I
Yeah.
know Rumson Fairhaven High School, you have to take a literacy class, a financial literacy class, before you can get your diploma. What they teach in that class, I don't know. Is there an actual teachers teaching it, or do they have to just answer questions and fake it online? I don't recall.
Okay.
But it is there. And I laugh because I can remember, and I don't remember what grade it was, either 4th grade or 6th grade, where I learned how to write a check.
Yes.
Like there was a class that taught us how to write a check and keep a check register.
Wow.
So, nobody writes a check anymore. Like, but that was taught to us when we were younger.
Yeah.
And those basic skills need to be taught. And one of the things we were talking about too is, and I was thinking about this as you were speaking, is not only is the way people retired 20, 30 years ago, but the pandemic, has it brought quite a shift in the way people are thinking about retirement now? Because I would think that people experienced getting back in touch with work-life balance. And I've noticed a great deal of people who are really keeping that balance. Like, life is really important. And there was a lot of people who had forgotten that for a long time. So I can only imagine that the people who are right at this retirement age are like, holy cow, I planned for this. We also know people are retiring early now because of the pandemic. So how's that affecting what you're doing?
Yeah. Oh man, there's a lot of thoughts that pop into my mind with that specific question. So let me kind of unpack it the best I can here. So for the folks that are, let's say, retiring earlier, nothing wrong with that, but you really have to make sure that they have all the ducks lined up in a row. And what I mean by that is, let's say if you want to retire in your mid 50s, right? Which is, I help people do that before. They would really have to make sure that they have enough tangible assets saved, right, and invested accordingly. but they would also know that they're also they might potentially be starting to draw down on the
Mhm.
assets as
Mhm.
well, right? And if that's the case, if they're not careful, they might draw down and live too long and potentially exhaust it if they don't plan accordingly,
Right.
right? So that's a very tricky thing to do, but very doable as long as they understand the pros and cons. But not only that, but if you're retiring that early, that means you're also hindering yourself from getting a better Social Security check
Right.
as well, because you're not contributing
Right.
anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you need 35 years of Social Security contribution to have all those boxes checked. If not, it's going to be zeros, which lowers the average calculation of your eligibility.
So people like me who stayed home with our kids and did not work really kind of beat ourselves up.
That's a different story.
Because I did not. I mean, I worked my butt off, but I didn't pay into Social Security.
I was gonna say you had a whole different.
Home. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
whole
worked
different type
part
of work.
time, but I don't remember them.
Because
all
I
those
volunteered everything. I mean, I never was sitting around
No,
eating bonbons
right.
by any means, but
none of us were. Yeah,
Whole different set of
it's a harder
work
job than
Uh-huh.
being in the workplace.
and a whole different set of rewards.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Thank
All
you.
right.
Lee. You're right.
Yes, yeah,
Perspective.
but hopefully your husbands have worked very hard and fulfilled those years because with how Social Security works, for people in your situation, they would be eligible when your spouse passes away to collect a spousal benefit from Social Security, which in turn allows you to collect their Social Security, which is a higher amount, which then doesn't leave you guys eating ramen noodles for the rest of your life.
Because I don't like ramen noodles. I have a gluten allergy. I can't really eat ramen noodles.
So there's ways around that, but that you bring up another good point where life insurance planning is another thing that is crucial in those specific situations, right? So we make sure that if for someone like yourself and your husband, we make sure that there's enough life insurance to suffice, just in case anything happens to him, that you and any other family members are well taken care of, have enough tangible assets to continue planning for your retirement as well. So there's a lot of things
There's
a lot of pieces
to the puzzle,
right?
as you said. Yeah.
So I'll throw another one since we're on that topic. Let's say if you meet someone that is not married or has no kids and they're retiring, right? Now for those, well, what's life insurance? They have no one to pass them life insurance, right?
Right.
If something happens. For those, they require a different type of planning, and that might involve long-term care planning, right? Because they need a facility or organization to help them if they can't do 2 out of their 6 ADLs because they're old or something mental capacity is not there anymore. And that right now is it's such a costly industry.
It's very costly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very costly.
It literally will cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jane, don't you see hers missing?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're saying I'm ready for long-term
No,
care?
I'm saying you're dealing with the costliness because your mom is
my
in
mom.
long-term care. That's what's costing you an arm and a leg.
No.
That I was not saying you were ready for long-term care.
I know.
Yeah.
No,
it's
but,
that green screen that.
yeah, right.
It's good job, guys. Yeah. But yes.
No, it's true. No, we are going through that with my mother right now, and fortunately, she's her situation is she's in pretty good situation financially to handle this. But boy, if not,
imagine if she never had kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What would that look like financially for her? So
and then you've got the other situations where you're planning for this thing and something happens, health, life, to your health, where that all of a sudden you've got all these additional costs. You're going to have these costs, they're affecting your ability to put away, save, invest, because you have to take care of them now. And then you were counting on the money that you might not be able to make during this because you've gotten sick or disabled earlier on. Let's go back to the happy stuff.
Yeah, right.
So these are the problems and issues and concerns that people bring to our attention, and we're able to help them navigate through that. Right?
Yeah, you kind of need to pivot and relook at things
You're-
when those challenges happen.
As I say, your wealth of knowledge and the
Yeah.
constant change that you must face on a regular basis to be able to guide all these situations,
Yeah.
all these changes, everything that's constantly, like, I'd never stopped to really think about that before.
No one does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank goodness you do.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, kudos, because it's not an easy.
Well, just like anything else in life, right? Whenever you need to have a license to do certain things, that you have to be prepared in those type of situations, right? So being a doctor, I'm sure they see a lot of things that us common folks don't know about, right?
Right.
And they know how to plan for it and help people avoid it as well. So same in financial planning, being licensed, Series 7, 65, 63, and then all the other special designations that our team has really equips us with the right tools to handle those type of situations.
So if someone was looking for a financial planner,
Mhm.
what are the key things that, because there are a lot of financial planners out there. So what are the key things that we should look for?
That's
besides licensing?
That's a really good question, Jane.
Yes, thank you for opening
Okay.
with that, because that is something that I think a lot of people don't know how to approach, and that's why they're afraid to even go through that approach, because they just don't know what to ask and what's good, what's not, right?
Sure.
So I think the number one key thing that I could give anyone as advice when you are interviewing financial advisory teams is trust your gut.
Mm.
All right. You lived your life, whether you're 40, 50 or 60, right? Your gut is your best telltale sign of if this is the right fit for me or not. So just follow your gut, because that will tell you probably most of the times if this is a good move for you to take a step forward or not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be really comfortable with the advisory team that you're working with. Are they the type that is, that kind of rolls out the red carpet type of deal? Are they someone that just sits down and listens to you, right? But you'll know, and you'll get that feeling by just interviewing and speaking with them and keeping an open mind, all right? I think the second part would be you want to ask yourself, what are the most important things that I need to figure out for retirement? So things like, are you fee conscious? All right, because you could go to someone that is the advisory team that is the lowest fees, but are they providing the best service for you? And obviously, you have the other opposite end is someone that might be charging high fees, but they have everything you need, takes care of all your needs, and of course understands and listens to you. That might be worth it. It's just you got to find that happy median, and in meeting people and getting referred to people, to other financial advisors, and going in for an interview and getting that feel will definitely be a good start. It's almost like buying a house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just got to see you just got to go see as many houses as you can, and then you're going to know it at that right house. When you see it, you have the pricing makes sense, and of course it's in the right neighborhood. All the boxes checked off, and your gut tells you, right? So it's very similar to that as well. I know that because I just recently went house shopping. So.
Yeah.
Well, and I was going to
trust
say
my
this
gut in everything I do. So I think that's a great thing.
And this is a great segue to bring it back to the chamber, because we have a lot of financial planners in our chamber.
Yeah.
And you just made the best point for why you need to know other people. Why you need, so even other people in your own industry, because that person may feel really good with you, but you may say, you know what, I don't think that this is the right mix.
Yep.
But I know so-and-so. And I would suggest you go speak to them first before making a decision. And one of the things I like about the members of our chamber is that they do that, but it's a great, because you said, and I don't even know if people stop to think, you go to a bank. Do you just go to the bank that's closest to you? Do you just go to the financial advisor that's closest to you? No, you said you interview them. You get to know who they are, what they offer. It's not just about the service and the fee. It's also about the gut and meeting them. And, people always say, well, if you have too many of my industry, I'm not going to join your chamber. And it's like, but there's such a benefit to that, because that person, not only may you say, oh, I'm going to send you here, that person's going to say, oh, I've met Leo, let me send you. I would think you really should speak to Leo.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think that's, I mean, do you agree with that, or did I just totally kill everything?
No, you didn't kill everything. No. That's, I mean, I part of the reason why I just joined, because I knew there was other advisors,
Yeah.
but I didn't think that as a competition thing. I just knew that, I'll be mingling with other people, and it's okay. It's a big world out there. There's plenty of people that need our services,
Right.
Yeah.
and I can't service all of them, so it's fine.
Right.
And it's more than a business card. So to me, I can get a bunch of business cards or see the listing in the chamber in
Mhm.
terms of financial advisors, but it's not until I've met you,
Mhm.
whether it's in networking or whatever, that I say, oh, I think he's a good fit for me, because it is more than just your credentials on a business card to me.
Absolutely.
It definitely is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We tend to do business with people we like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody does. Yeah,
Right,
you
exactly.
become
That's
friends
what
with
you
people
wanna
you like.
do.
You do business
Sure.
with people you like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it is 10 o'clock. So
Wow.
we have finished our time. And I have really liked hanging out with
Oh,
both of
me
you.
too.
And I
I've
really,
enjoyed
as
this
we know,
too.
I really like both
Yeah.
of you too. So, oh, and good morning, Kevin McCormick. There are many financial planners in our
Oh,
chamber.
great.
Yes,
Good
Kevin
morning,
is
Kevin.
one of them. So thank you, Kevin. He agreed that getting to know them and sharing them. And
Yeah.
so
Let's grab a cup of coffee, Kevin.
Yeah.
you've met, Kevin McCormick. You've met him, I believe. So, well, you by face,
He's great.
I'll hook you up, because I know you know.
All right,
you know
great.
each other. Both of you are awesome. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
anyway, so we hope to see some of you at our events coming up. We mentioned those before. I believe I forgot to ask Jill. My question I ask her every Friday morning is, who's my next guest? Because I forget to look it up myself, and she knows off the top of her head. And I forgot to ask her this
Oh,
morning.
that's okay.
So we'll be
Got a
back
lot
in a
going
couple
on.
weeks. And we are looking forward to seeing everybody soon.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Leo.
Have a
It was
great
fun.
weekend. Thanks,
Jen.
Leo. Thanks, Jane.